All right, let's talk about what you can expect if you want to buy a house in the Baton Rouge area in 2023. We're going to get into how the local real estate market's doing and just a little bit about how the process works here in Louisiana. So let's go. Hey everybody, Sean Ramos here. Welcome to the channel. This is Living in Louisiana. If it's your first time here, so glad to have you. And if you haven't been here before, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell because I'm putting out brand new videos just like this one every single week. And just a quick reminder, I am a licensed real estate agent in Louisiana, so that number that's popping up on your screen right now, that's the best way that you can reach out to me. And I'm the guy that replies to every single call, text, and email. And as much as I do love making these videos for you guys, what I really love is to help you with your real estate needs. So don't hesitate to reach out if you have any specific questions or needs when it comes to making the move to Louisiana. All right, let's dive right in. So one of the questions that I think most real estate agents get most often is, how's the market? So of course, this is gonna be hyper local. The market here in the Baton Rouge area is different than the New Orleans area, which is different than Mobile, Alabama, which is different than Denver, Colorado, which is different than Tampa, Florida, and so on. But the best way that I can describe the market here in the Baton Rouge area is it's hit or miss. It's kind of funny how you can have a house in a neighborhood that will hit the market, get multiple offers, and be sold within a couple days. But then you could have another house in the same neighborhood that can sit for months before it finally sells.
It just doesn't make sense.
So I'm having a really tough time right now telling buyers or sellers exactly what to expect in this market. So right now, let's prepare for the best and shoot for a quick sale, but just be aware that it's possible that it could take a little bit more work. And the advice that I'm giving to sellers right now is a lot different than it was a year and a half ago in 2020, 2021, and a little bit into 22. When I was meeting with sellers and they were asking those questions about, should I paint this or should I repair this or replace this or update that? Usually my answer was, wouldn't even bother with it. Right now, there's somebody out there waiting to buy your house. There's a line of people that are just waiting on something like this to come up, and we'll let them tell us. If it's a big deal, we'll deal with it later, but I wouldn't spend much time or money worrying about these little things to get the house ready for sale. And now it's the complete opposite. I'm telling every seller, let's do everything we can do to have your house looking its best. So while we're still in a seller's market, just based on the numbers and the current inventory on the market right now, it's more of a competition between sellers to attract the buyers that are out there. So now, yeah, let's paint those walls. Let's touch up everything. Let's fix those holes in the walls. Let's get some mulch out there and freshen up the landscaping. Let's do everything we can do to make your house look a little better than your neighbors right down the street that's for sale. Now, as far as buyers go, I think a lot of people, when the interest rates started going up, they just went off and sat on the sidelines and decided to wait till the interest rates come back down. Now, are the rates gonna come back down? Who knows? I don't expect to ever see rates in the threes again in my lifetime, but you never really know. So I'm telling buyers right now that, chances are we're probably not gonna see those rates in the threes again. If we do, awesome, then you can refinance. But if you need to buy a house, let's just go into it with your mind wrapped around the fact that the rates are what they are, and we can find you something that fits in your budget. But we can't compare interest rates now to what they were. Those artificially low interest rates that we had for years are a thing of the past. So if you're stuck on the fact that you were seeing rates in the threes and sometimes even the twos, and now we're looking 6.5, even in the low sevens, that could keep you from going out there and really finding the house that you love that's available right now. And what I do worry about is for those buyers that are just sitting back waiting on rates to come down. When they go down even a little bit, what do you think is gonna happen? I think we're gonna see an influx of buyers come to the market. It's gonna drive the competition up again, possibly like it was before. And then you're gonna find yourself in multiple offer situations and losing out on houses that you really love because somebody else was willing or able to pay more.
Shucks, shucks, shucks.
Now's the time that you can possibly get out and shop around a little bit and you have some options. And the way I'm going into it with buyers is that sometimes you can be picky. Sometimes you can negotiate, sometimes we have leverage. But sometimes a lot of people want that same house and we're gonna have to come in strong. So if there's a house you like that just hit the market and it's day one, chances are they're not budging much on their price. But if we find something that's been sitting a month or 2 or 3, then we've got a little leverage. We can probably negotiate a better deal. So now let's go into a little bit about what the actual process is like when you're buying a house here in the Baton Rouge market. So every state's different and every area within the state can be different. Like I said, the real estate market is hyper local, and then how things work as far as the process goes are different in every market. I know agents in other areas that say you have to put up some due diligence money, and then you also have to have an earnest money deposit. And that due diligence money you're not getting back. If you decide to back out during that due diligence and inspection period, that money's just gone, but you could get your earnest money deposit back. Here in this market, most of the deals I do don't even have a deposit. All the different areas in Louisiana have their own MLS. So here where I'm at, the Greater Baton Rouge Association of Realtors has its own MLS. Then you have one for New Orleans, and you have one that goes further south, and you have one further west out for the Lafayette area. So all the different MLSs have their own data. And before, you only had access to the data of the MLS that you belong to, but now they've kind of overlapped everything. So I can see the New Orleans listings in my MLS, and then they can see ours. And they do things differently than we do. So again, if I'm writing an offer for a house that falls within my MLS area, chances are I'm writing it with no deposit. But I know that if I write an offer that's in the New Orleans MLS area, they're gonna insist on a deposit. They're sellers, they're agents, that's just the way they've done it forever, and they just wanna see one. And then as far as the amount of the deposit goes, some of the agents I know in other areas say that their typical deposit is 1% of the purchase price. But here, if you do need a deposit, $500 or $1,000 is pretty typical. And I wrote an offer recently on a $1.1 million house, and we did a $1,000 deposit. But chances are if you're buying a house within the Baton Rouge MLS area, probably won't even need one. But let's get into how the actual process works, and we'll do the really quick version for this video. But if you do actually find yourself wanting to buy a house in this area and you do reach out, then once we've had that initial meeting and we get you pre-approved with a lender, before we actually go out and start looking at houses, we're gonna jump on another Zoom call, and it's gonna take about an hour, but we're gonna go through every little detail of this process step by step so that you really know exactly what to expect.
Oh, thank goodness!
But here's how it goes. Once we go out and start looking at houses, your main job as the buyer is to identify the house that you really love. And once you do that, we're gonna write an offer. Once the offer is accepted, we're gonna have a due diligence and inspection period. In our area, 10 days is pretty typical, but we could go a little less, a little more, depending on the situation. And during this due diligence and inspection period, you're not married to the house yet. If anything comes up that you don't like, or you just have a change of heart for whatever reason, we can still get you out of that contract if you need to. Now, once that's all done, the lender will reach out and you'll get your appraisal ordered. As of right now, typically what I'm seeing is $550 to $600 or so to order your appraisal. And once we get that back, then typically you're gonna be working mostly with the lender at that point, getting them what they need so they can get their final approval. And if you happen to be buying a house that's, say, not in a subdivision, a little more out in a rural area, if there's private sewer systems or private water, then this is where I'll be working with other agent, because the seller's gonna provide inspections, just showing that everything is what it's supposed to be and that everything works the way it's supposed to work. If the seller agreed to provide a WDIR, I'll be working with them to make sure that's taken care of and that we have a copy of it and we know everything's good. But once your lender gives us the final approval, we'll go do a final walkthrough of the house and make sure everything is the same condition as it was, if not better than when you did our initial inspections. And we'll be able to put our eyes on any repairs that we want to see were done. And after that, we're off to the close, and you sign your paperwork and you walk out with the keys in your hand, and congratulations, you're a homeowner. And what I find the most with buyers when they're looking for a house, that it's typically pretty easy to find a house that you like. There's lots of great houses out there. But where the work usually comes in is finding a location that's right for you. Do you need to be in a certain school district? Do you need to be close to a certain job? Do you want to be close to your family? Or maybe you want to be far away from your family. So the challenge is just finding a house that works for you, that fits all your needs, at least some of your wants, and a location that also meets your needs. But that's where I come in. So when you're ready for that number that's popping up on your screen right now, that's how you can reach out to me. I'm here to be a resource for you for anything real estate related at all. I'm here to serve and support you in any way I can when it comes to making the move to Louisiana. So don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, and I'll personally respond to every single call, text, or email that comes through. Guys, don't forget, do me that favor. If you haven't done it yet, make sure you subscribe, click the notification bell, because I'm putting out new videos just like this every single week. I want to make sure that you don't miss any of them. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video.